I create edges, I create borders, where sometimes they are highly contrasted and very, very visible, and sometimes they are imperceptible. You can hardly see them at all. In addition, this use of the play of light with the brush marks makes that even more complex, because it means that in some parts you can see a contrast, and in other parts, in the same brush mark, you can't see it at all. Sometimes the form looking as if it is going away from you, it is receding, and sometimes it comes out at you, it is approaching you, it is coming towards you. So there is this positive, negative aspect going on all the time in my work. Another thing I've been thinking about a lot doing this series of paintings is because they are very long and thin paintings, very tall and narrow paintings. The ellipse is very extreme, it's very attenuated, and that is one extreme of the possibilities of the ellipse. The other extreme is that it is almost a circle. Je ne fais jamais un cercle. Non, c'est toujours une ellipse, même que c'est presque un cercle. What I've noticed is that because I build the painting up, the surface up in layers, say 3 or 4 layers of paint, although the final layer is the most precise and clearly observed layer, it is possible to perceive the layers beneath, very subtly sometimes, but just through the canvas, the fabric of the canvas, or the way the brush mark has stopped in one place in a preceding layer. And I think that is what helps to give it that sense of illusion of something being very solid and also being very immaterial. I paint something for one reason, and then I notice something else that happens in it. It's not that I've decided that I'm going to paint it like this. These things appear to me as I'm painting. The colour becomes more intense. It becomes more physical. And I like that aspect of something being physically very present, but with this play of light, it becomes unobtainable. recently, I've developed this further by actually painting diptych, which gives me more room to play with that idea, so that I can emphasize even more precisely and even more dramatically that shift that occurs between what we might call figure and ground, or inside and outside, or near and far, or surface and depth. The ellipse can be seen simultaneously as a two-dimensional shape, a flat shape on a canvas, but also offers this potential of 3 dimensions. And then this is further emphasised in my process of painting with the brush mark. By painting around the edges of the small ellipses, I create a relief in the painting. When you put the paint on, it is wet and it is very luscious, it is very seductive. But because it dries slowly, you don't notice that drying. It is different when it is dry than when it is wet, but it retains a feeling of moisture, of humidity. You have to take time to really observe, experience, perceive what is actually happening in the paintings. Light can really, really dramatically change what we're looking at. The type of light that's falling on the surface, the type of surface that it's falling on, how that can make such a dramatic effect to the way we see what is in front of us. I hope for the receptive spectator that they can think about how things do change in the world, how things are not static, how things can be seen from one point of view or from another point of view.